Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Leadership Forum. Today, we are joined by the distinguished Captain Alfred Reyes of the Los Angeles Department, Walnut Diamond Bar Station. Captain Reyes, thank you for accepting our invitation and joining us this afternoon.
Well, thank you all for putting this very uh, this informational meeting together. It's my pleasure, and I'm here to assist each of you in any way I can.
My name is Ashnabaya.
I'm Connor Fox.
I'm Ryan Melky.
And I'm Nicholas Hernandez. Today we will be focusing on the captain's extensive service with the Sheriff's Department dating back to 1984. We will be covering the top topics of the captain's path to success, adversities he's faced along the way, and leadership opportunities that his department may offer. Captain Reyes, we'd like to start off by kindly asking you to tell us about yourself and what it's inspired you to join the Sheriff's Department.
Sure, and thank you, Nicholas. Uh, as you have mentioned, I've been with the Sheriff's Department for since 1984. Essentially, my career spans for 36 years. This is for me, it's a you hear the term when people ask, "How are you doing?" And many times the response is, "Well, I'm living the dream," and this has been my dream job, and it continues to be my dream job. But I'm the captain of the Walnut Diamond Bar Sheriff Station. I've been the captain uh, for the last 4.5 years, dating back to 2016. Just it's my pleasure to serve the communities of Walnut, Diamond Bar, uh, the unincorporated area of Roland Heights. We also serve the unincorporated area of uh, Covina Hills, as well as unincorporated West Covina. And just to shed a little bit of light as far as the government that oversees those areas, both the city of Walnut and the city of Diamond Bar, they're incorporated areas. They have their own mayors uh, and their own city councils. The unincorporated areas are just a little bit different. Those are governed by the Board of Supervisors. LA County has 5 districts in its vast area, and we serve 3 different districts that fall under 3 different supervisors for the county. So just to shed a little bit of light, the way that is put together. But no, it's been a fantastic career. I'm just, you would think after 35 years, for the most part, hey, it's a time for retirement. But that's not the case for me. I really, really enjoy what I do. I really, really enjoy overseeing the personnel that works for me and also serving the communities and partnering with the community members to provide the best public safety that is available through the sheriff's department so that people can enjoy their homes, go to school, go to work, do the things they like to do, frequent the businesses, and they can do so in a safe manner and feel that they're very, very safe. I always mention that uh, working in the communities that we serve it's just awesome because we have so much support from the people that reside in these wonderful communities. And that's something that I convey to my staff, and they understand and they appreciate. They when they encounter people out in the field, it's there's always an expression of gratitude and appreciation, and it just goes a long way. Uh, but just touching on what inspired me to be in law enforcement. Um, Growing up, I grew up in inner city Los Angeles, and uh, I always was fascinated by law enforcement and seeing law enforcement that worked in my area as well as in some of the surrounding areas, and that inspired me to want to understand what law enforcement service was about. And I took the opportunity to take criminal justice classes in high school. Also, when I graduated from high school, I was a teacher's assistant for a short time, and I wanted to learn more about the Los Angeles Police Department as well as the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. I took the opportunity to go on ride-alongs with both departments. Also participated in a pre-academy training program that both the Sheriff's Department, the Los Angeles Police Department had to offer. And was really, really, that just made me want to attain my goal as being a law enforcement officer. So, you know, after I graduated from high school, I continued my studies into the criminal administration, got my 2-year degree. And as soon as I turned 21, I started testing for a couple of different departments and was fortunate enough to be hired by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. And here I am.
Thank you for sharing your story, Captain Reyes. Um, During your ascension to the Captain Sheriff's Department, you would need to have charisma, vision, as well as the support of the community that you are serving as a captain of. By extension, you might have also faced competition by your opponents and possibly even opposition from your opponent's supporters as well, as you had to be elected. Therefore, my question is, how were you able to gain the eventual support of the public and your opponents? Furthermore, how were you able to gain the backing of other officers in your department in order to become the successful captain you are today?
That's a very good question. And you know, in we live in a very, very competitive society, and it's one of the things is planning and preparing. That having that goal of wanting to be a station captain and working in an organization where there's 8,000 other members, and several of those members are very, very talented. You have to work really, really, really hard, and you have to have that. You have to have that ability to put forth the hours and the sacrifices that are necessary. But not just that. A lot of it is the desire to be ambitious. And that's one thing that I look for whenever I'm seeking people to be placed in coveted positions. Do they have the ambition that's necessary, or is it just an empty desire for them that they want to fulfill or be given a position? So to me, that's the most important. And I guess I can equate it in this way. In the academy, it's very physically and mentally demanding. And we work in a paramilitary organization in our specific department. And in the academy, you have to do a certain amount of push-ups, you have to do a certain amount of sit-ups, and those type of exercises. So, and I equate this to the work that I was given. If your drill instructor asks you to do 50 push-ups, you do 75 push-ups. So I equated that to those positions that I was in prior. And my bosses, if they're great leaders, they're going to bring you up the ladder in their success. So if my boss asked me to do put in a certain amount of hours, I would always put in extra hours. So that's how I was able to get myself noticed as a person with very strong work ethic. But there's also other components that go with that. You have to have the right work ethic as well. So that goes with work ethic, but also your personal ethics. Are you a person of integrity? Do you um, come through with the promises that you make or the goals that you have? And I think if, for myself, being consistent with the things that I wanted to do, that goes a long way with the personnel that you oversee. And the other part is listening and being available for the people that work for you. Uh, and that's really, really important for my line staff is knowing who they are, what challenges they have, and what challenges are they facing. Uh, and the other part is being available to help them with their goals, because everybody has goals, aspirations. Some people are uh, comfortable with the job they may be doing at the moment, but there's other people that also want to be able to get to other jobs within the large organization that we are employed by. So I think that's a big part is also is being able to assist others in attaining the success that they want.
Trust is an important value that you need to serve a high rank like yourself. So for my question, as you were becoming the captain, what was a good way that helped you build trust with everyone else in the Walnut Diamond Bar station and other stations you worked at?
You know, being consistent in uh, the goals that you want to implement, being transparent, of course, and we always hear that term is, we want to be transparent in whatever it is we do. And what does that mean? Really, it's if people have questions and they want to know why certain things are being done, um, we have to be open. We have to be able to communicate why it is things are being done a certain way. It's very, very, very important in that aspect. Um, and the other thing is uh, not having a double standard. I think you all are very, very you all understand that in the society we're in, we see that there is double standards. We see that leaders will give, provide, make certain rules and things for people to do and not to do. But then you hear about situations where it doesn't apply to them. It's very important as a leader that I don't, if I want my personnel to conduct themselves professionally, courteously when they're interacting with the public, I have to be able to model that behavior as well, and it has to be done genuinely and not in a matter that is, well, he's only doing it because the job requires him to do it that way. So we want to be genuine in the things that we are asking our people, our troops to do. I refer to my staff as troops, and that's just kind of a slang that we use, but it's all my sworn staff and my professional staff.
So, as you mentioned earlier, you were inspired by the officers in the LAPD to serve in the community and make others feel safe. So our question is, how did you prepare yourself to take on the leadership role that you have now? And do you have any advice for students who also want to take an active role in improving their communities?
Absolutely. 90% of it is, again, is ambition and just having the drive and the focus to attain whatever goal that you may have. We start off with a vision, and then we make our goals, and we essentially achieve, each goal step by step to get to our ultimate goal. And a lot of that was just networking with people who were already in the profession, also surrounding myself with those who had the same type of goals and visions that I had, that also wanted to be in law enforcement, understanding what they were doing to not just prepare themselves, but to take the steps that were necessary to achieve their goal. Of course, education. Um, that's a big factor. Taking the classes that are necessary to have a career in the criminal justice system. Education is very important, and making that a priority. Having the support of your family is and your loved ones, of course, is always necessary. You're not always going to get that support because that's just the nature of the beast. But the other part is seeking out a mentor, somebody that you see as a role model that's already in the field, and you want to emulate their path because they have all the qualities, the good character traits that are genuine for the profession that you're seeking. I think that's extremely important.
Thank you, Captain Reyes. So, as you've stated on your sheriff's profile, you said some of your goals for the station include reducing and preventing crime and creating strong partnerships with the community and improving the quality of life for residents. Therefore, I'd like to ask you, in what ways have you been able to accomplish these goals as captain of the Walnut Diamond Bar Station? Also, are there any specific needs that the residents of these cities have that differ from the needs of residents in other communities that you served, such as in East Los Angeles and in Norwalk?
Yes, absolutely. You know, our sheriff, Alex Villanueva, the sheriff of Los Angeles County, when he speaks and he talks about our mission statement and our tradition of service, one thing he always emphasizes is the people are the police and the police are the people. And he always cites um, the founder of community policing. And long ago, that was his, that was, that was the way, he's the founder of community policing, and that was his philosophy. And it's very important. I can't accomplish those goals of reducing crime, improving the quality of life, unless I have the backing and the participation of the community members. And I also have to have the backing and participation of the people that serve the community. And those are my deputies that are our first responders, as well as our civilian staff as well. It's all a collaborative effort. And when we have that buy-in from those great stakeholders, then we have the synergy to accomplish the goals that are necessary. And it's been very, for me, I've been very fortunate that we have strong partnerships with the city leaders, the mayors, the city councils, the field deputies for the board of supervisors, the community-based organization leaders. We have a outstanding neighborhood watch group throughout the entire policing area. And without those stakeholders, without their help, we wouldn't be able to accomplish the things that we have been able to accomplish as far as reducing crime. For the last 4 years, year over year, we've seen a reduction in Part 1 crimes in all of those areas. Now, we always have little flare-ups, increases here and there, but it's because of those partnerships. It's because of the leadership of the neighborhood watch groups, the leadership of the city leaders, again, the community-based organizations, that we're able to see, okay, these are the challenges, these are the issues, and we put our heads together to determine how are we going to tackle this, how are we going to reduce property crimes, how are we going to maintain low crime levels when we're talking about serious crimes and violent crimes. So with that, that's the most important thing, is just that buy-in and working together to create the synergy to get to where we need to be.
Uh, During your time starting at the Sheriff's Department in 1984, I'm sure there were many people that doubted your abilities as a sheriff. But the question I wanted to ask you is how have you found ways to overcome your doubters and be in the position you are in today?
What I'll tell you is that's an interesting question. And sometimes we ourselves can be our biggest doubters because we hold ourselves to pretty high standards, right? And I think for me, that was one of the challenges that I had was I could be my biggest doubter. Was fortunate to have a lot of support, uh, but in those situations where uh, you have people that are doubt your abilities, uh, you have to make yourself better. Again, I refer back to that analogy that I mentioned as far as if you're asked to do 50 push-ups, you do 75. You know, if we're able to commit the time, put in the effort, and make the sacrifices that we need to achieve our goals, you can be the best you can be. And for me, I think that was the thing that uh, I always did was if I had uh, doubt, I would do whatever it would take to make myself competent and maybe sometimes not the best, but the top to be the cream of the crop.
There's no doubt that you faced many adversities during your time with the department. Many of these things could have gone in the way of you accomplishing your goals of reducing and preventing crime and improving quality of life for residents of the country or county. My question is, how did you overcome adversities and prevent them from stopping both you and your department from fulfilling your goals of service and safety? Furthermore, what precautions do you think generally anyone should have to prepare for future problems?
That's a good question. And, it's, again, uh, the accomplishments that we've been able to make and overcoming the adversity is something that's done in partnership. I can't take, I don't take all of the credit for the successes that we've made in reducing crime. Again, it's you have to give credit where credit is due. I have and I'm very, very fortunate that um, I've surrounded myself with a very good, hardworking people that are committed and passionate in providing the best uh, public safety service that the community members they expect and that they deserve. Uh, so just being able to inspire others and have that commitment to work together for the same cause is probably one of the most important aspects in overcoming adversity. Just as all of you are working together to learn about leadership and educate others, that's an amazing force. We all have, you all have, and we all have our talents, our ideas, and when we put them together, um, we can do amazing things. And that is the way that I have, in my experience, have been able to overcome the adversities that are always going to arise, future problems. You had mentioned is just having that ability and those surrounding yourself with the people that are going to be forward thinkers and that are able to discern and foresee what challenges may come up, and putting together a plan. You might have a plan, but you're also going to need a contingency plan to be able to uh, maneuver through those hurdles, those challenges that you will be faced with.
Thank you, Captain. So, as a result of social movements calling for defunding the police and overall degrading the police, the LA County Sheriff's Department was forced to cut $145.4 million from their budget, which effectively eliminated the Gang Enforcement Parks Bureau, Special Victims Bureau, and Major Crimes Bureau, among others. There have also been significant cuts to mental health divisions and custody operation divisions. So, how do you see local law enforcement going forward or recovering from public efforts which might weaken the sheriff's department and other law enforcement bodies?
Those are one of the challenges that you have that Ashton mentioned that that are going to be coming up. And throughout history, there's always been challenges with funding. Again, the people are the police, and the police are the people. We have to work together to be able to provide uh, public safety consistently. And so when there are issues of funding or underfunding, um, we have to make adjustments and be flexible. Uh, we have a very, very large department where some of those things that you mentioned, Nicholas, some of those bureaus, such as Operation Safe Streets Bureau, the mental evaluation team, our committee-oriented problem-solving teams, those are centralized units within our department. So essentially what I have to do for my policing area, I have to take my first responders and some of my special assignment team deputies and make them multifaceted. That means, fortunately, we don't have the gang problems in our policing areas that other areas in inner city Los Angeles have. Uh, but we do have challenges as far as people suffering mental health crises, and also homelessness. So I have to make sure that my deputies are able to be able to take on those challenges. And sometimes they're not just first responders, but they're going to have to work with community-based organizations, the resources that the cities provide as well as the counties provide, and be able to make connections to abate homeless encampments, not just abate them, but also provide people with the resources they may need. Homelessness is a very unfortunate situation. People fall into homeless situations for various reasons. Many times it may be due to financial crisis that they may be facing. Other times they may have other things going on, such as alcoholism, drug addiction, or maybe they're having medical issues, mental health um, challenges as well. So we're not, our job isn't to just go out and treat homelessness as a crime, but to be able to alleviate people if we can, to help them overcome those type of challenges that they're facing. We're fortunate that there might be a downsizing of certain bureaus, but the infrastructure is still in place. We still have the Los Angeles Housing Homeless Authority that is in place. So we're able to connect them to those types of services. We may not have the centralized host team available, but some of our deputies at the first responder level, and as well as the special assignment team deputies, can make those connections. It does spread us a little bit thin in the various duties that they may have to take on, but it's just part of improvising, working together and problem solving to be able to make sure that we still have those, we have the ability to provide the public safety needs that we're committed to providing.
You mentioned that maintaining a good relationship with the people you work with and the community you serve is essential to success. This statement can be applied to all walks of life. So our question is, how do you not only make an effort to help those around you, but also find people who are willing to work with you and share your goals?
the majority of that is just being able to provide leadership to those people that are our first responders, and also to our customers. Our customers in law enforcement, of course, are the city leaders that contract with uh, our department for our services, but also the community members, is having them understand that we are there to provide the best quality of service we can. If the public, the best feedback for us, and I say this all the time, is the feedback that we get from our community members. And that's something that I have to pay attention to and make sure that my staff understands, the people that are out there doing the work day in and day out. We welcome the feedback from the community. And if we're not measuring up in that area to the service that we're providing, and the feedback is telling us that we can do a better job, we have to take the corrective action that's necessary. Many times it's just a matter of training. We may be, if we may be falling short in a certain area, then I have to make sure that my deputies are getting the training that they need and the tools that they need, so that we are providing the service that we're obligated to provide. But it's just paying attention to those type of things. And really, again, it's majority of it is the feedback that's coming in from the community and everybody in our public safety stakeholdership.
Thank you, Captain Reyes. So there are many students who want to have a position in the sheriff's department and also want to have a leadership position. So my question is, what are good opportunities that students can take as they are trying to have a career in law enforcement?
Well, first of all, is understanding what the career is all about, learning whichever agency that they decide that they maybe want to commit to, is getting that exposure and understanding what the missions are. Let's just say is somebody may want to be a police officer in the Ontario Police Department. It's, we have with the with technology, there's so much that's available to us. You can go to a website and understand what the mission statements are of those particular agencies. Is that something that you want to commit to? Same thing with our sheriff's department. Is there's so many things that you can do to get that information. The other thing is volunteering. The sheriff's department has a large volunteer contingency. You can be a reserve deputy. You can also, at your age, participate in the Explorer program. And I mean, that's firsthand. You're in it, so to speak, is you're in the pool to testing out the water and see how the water is. If anybody's interested in becoming an explorer, you can contact Sergeant Darren Luter, who's in charge of the Explorer program. He's also in charge of the volunteer program as well. If you're interested in committing a certain amount of hours to volunteering to the community. And that goes for other departments as well. Many departments now have an Explorer program. They have volunteer programs, and it's available to the community. Many agencies have a civilian academy that educates them on public safety, the functions of law enforcement, the legality of law enforcement. So those are things that will help you greatly as well. And then of course the other is just following the path to criminal justice administration, taking some of those classes to see if that's something that may interest you to provide have a career in law enforcement for serving the community.
Thank you, Captain. So I just wanted to ask you, is there any specific advice or inspirational words that you would give to students who are hoping to pursue a career in law enforcement?
A career in law enforcement is truly a calling, just like many other uh, careers out there where you're serving the people. It is all about service and sacrifice. When you commit to serving others, you have to, there's going to be a certain amount of sacrifice that goes with it. That's the biggest thing that people have to understand when they're looking at taking a career in law enforcement uh, is we're out there to help people. Uh, it's about quality of life for the people in the community. Of course, there's that aspect of there's a certain aspect of going out and fighting crime, but that's something that we do together uh, with the people of the community. And there's many ways to fight crime. Education is one of them. Having people understanding that if they see something, they have to say something and they have to commit to uh, bring it to the attention of law enforcement. Uh, and working with the community leaders, the legislature, so that we can fight crime to the fullest. Of course, uh, as a law enforcement officer, we don't make the laws, we enforce the laws. The people make the laws. And that's a big part also in understanding your place in law enforcement. Again, it's about service to the people and to the communities. That's the biggest thing that we can understand and commit to.
Thank you for telling us that. With law enforcement and other law related jobs being such a highly coveted category of professions many students want to someday become, Captain Reyes, are there any qualities, motivations, aspirations, or experiences you think an individual should have in order to become successful in this field?
Absolutely. And again, it's caring about people in the community, uh, having that ability to serve uh, others, uh, and uh, just partnering with the people in the community, uh, city leaders, uh, the education system, having that ability to collaborate, brainstorm, put together ideas, and put those ideas into motion so that um, we can provide the best public safety service that is deserved by the people of the community. In our society today, we're consumed by uh, many different competing forces, and I think the toughest part is being able to prioritize uh, what's most important. And if somebody has a passion and a desire, they have to be able to manage all of those competing interests and prioritize and commit that there is a specific amount of time that you're going to have to commit to um, if in whatever field it is that you may be interested in. So it's all about sacrifice. There's going to be some things that are, it's going to be necessary to sacrifice some of those commitments to make time to be able to educate yourself, prepare yourself uh, for whatever field you may be interested in. And I know we're specifically talking about law enforcement. So it's just a matter of setting aside that time that's necessary in adjusting and reworking your schedules to be able to prepare yourself and educate yourself.
We thank you so much for giving your time and of your day in order to give us your recommendations, and answers to our questions. We thank you for joining our meeting.